Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to my channel. I'm incredibly excited today because today I'm going to be talking about my new Bordon boots. This is going to be the Bordon Wanes boot, their plain toe model, in smooth stone, waxy Mohawk. That's right, that's Charles F. Stead's smooth stone. Let me start out by saying that these are the part of the Bordon Boots Save the Ocean series. They offer this exact leather in 3 makeups. Their Wanes boot that you see right here, their Tukano boot, which is their cap toe boot, as well as their Isidro boot, which is their Chelsea. I have a pair of each model. I love all of them. So let me start out by saying I've had the immense privilege to watch Andres at Bordon Boots start his company from day one, offering a few limited select items in his Tukano boot, and that progressed into him now offering some incredible leather from Charles F. Stead, which is by far one of my favorite tanneries, and Mohawk / Rambler leather is by far one of my favorite leathers. As a bit of a leather aficionado myself, I can tell you with full certainty, I love Mohawk and Rambler. Stead really does something just so incredible. This is a shrunken fiber suede, essentially. It's heavily waxed and it's really waterproof. The best part about it, for me, is the aesthetics. When you look at it, it draws you in with its deep, rich character. You've got a lot of soft suede areas, as well as a lot of sort of almost plated waxy areas. So it goes from smooth to rugged, and the more you wear them, obviously, the more you scuff them, obviously, it's going to disrupt the waxes on the surface and alter the appearance, maybe roughing up some more sueded areas, maybe roughing up the smooth areas, and overall, every single pair is going to be so unique because forget about each boot, each side of this stuff is going to vary wildly from side to side. The animal side is going to be unique, so there is no way to duplicate someone else's pair. It is impossible, and that is what I love about it. That's also what I love about boots in general, is that when you're dealing with really special high-end leathers like this from artisan craftsmen, the journey that they take on is unlike any factory-made piece of footwear that you're ever gonna see, and they really become yours over time. That's just what I love about it. Anyways, it's awesome to see Andres bridging into Stead leather, because once again, it is one of my favorite tanneries by far. I mean, just to reflect on all the leathers I've experienced in both footwear as well as that I've purchased, Mohawk and Rambler, definitely probably in my top 3 leathers of all time. In fact, in my top 10 boots video that I did recently, 2 boots that made my top 10 were Rambler leathers. So let me start out by reading the description on the Bordon website on these incredible Wanes. That's right, Wanes, not Wanes. I know a lot of us English speakers see that word and we want to say Wanes, but it's Wanes. The Wanes boot Save the Ocean. It retails at $440. A perfectly fair price for these, especially since we have expertly done stitch down construction. Bordon's workmanship has absolutely graduated into the flawless category, I would say. There is not a single stitch misplaced. I know, you know, for me personally, that's not something I really care about, but I know a lot of guys do care, and so to the discerning customer that might be worried about a newer boot brand maybe having some cosmetic defects in the workmanship, worry not, because there is not a stitch out of place on the welt. I really have to praise the team at Bordon on their welting work here. Not to mention Stitchdown, that is the preferred welt of a lot of boot snobs out there. I like both. I appreciate both Stitchdown and Goodyear welted, but I think on this pair in particular, the Stitchdown really complements the aesthetic of the boot with the plain toe, not to mention the last that it's built on. It's just phenomenal. So you've got your option of sizes. Sizing is in Euro. They also offer the US size comparison. Now, I recommend going true to size with Bordon. So I'm a size 9 Brannick, and I typically wear an 8.5 in most US boot brands. These are in a size 9/EU 42, so my standard true to size. Just to re-solidify my sizing advice, I have tried Bordones in a size 41.5/US 8.5, and the fit was technically good, but because I have a wide foot, the fit was technically correct. However, it wasn't enough volume for me. I could wear them with a thin sock, but really I prefer the true to size. That's just my preference. So if you have a low volume foot, you might want to go down that half size. If you have a wider foot slash a higher volume foot, high instep, probably want to go true to size. That's my recommendation. I'll get to more sizing in a moment, but true to size is what I recommend. They also give you the option of going with an E, a double E, or a triple E width. Another new thing for Bordone is they give you several heel options. You can do a woodsman, a stack, or a semi-dogger. That's new, and I absolutely love that. So for this construction, once again, we've got stitch down double row construction. The double row extends to right here, the 180 degree mark. Then the single row construction extends to the 270 degree mark. One of the best things about these boots, by far, one of the best things that Bordone has always done, they've always stood out because of the party on the inside. So my other Bordones have an orange lining on the interior. This, however, has the most beautiful interior lining. This is going to be the special full grain stamped leather special edition Save the Ocean lining. And I can tell you, as somebody that loves to go to aquariums, it's got that aquarium feel on the inside. And a lot of people might not consider just how much fun a good lining is. For example, I have quite a collection of suits, for example, and I always appreciate a fun interior lining. It's kind of like the devil's advocate might say, well, who's going to see the inside? Well, you do. And to me, it's a refreshing feature to be able to open up your suit jacket or open up your leather jacket and see a really cool lining on the inside, especially if it complements the aesthetic of the garment, but it doesn't have to. In this case, I really just, it's so refreshing to look inside that and just see all the fish and to see the ocean water, to see the Bordone branding on the inside, Save the Ocean. I love it. It's both beautiful and it's fun. You know, why not have a little fun? Boots should be fun. That's one area where Bordone has always stood out to me. It's a party on the inside, and this is by far the best party on the inside you're ever gonna find. So we've got 100% Colombian vegetable tanned leather for the insole and the midsole. Wow, that is one phenomenally thick midsole. Holy moly. I'd say that's about 14 ounces thick, maybe 15, maybe even more. That is gonna be, I always talk about, you want more leather between your feet and the ground. That does not disappoint. Typically you need 2 layers of midsole leather to achieve that thickness, but right here in these boots, 1 layer. That is incredibly impressive. And then the heel stack in the heel is double layer, thinner veg tan, but also Colombian. So for the sole, we've got a Vibram 430 mini lug. Absolutely great. Lots of good traction there, and yet still retains a nice sleek silhouette from the side view. Another really great thing that is new for Bordone is they've incorporated a really, really thick shank in here that protrudes. That's going to give you a lot of support in the arch there. You can just see it protruding here. That sole is going to give you amazing support. It's got both a leather and a steel shank. That's probably why there's so much protrusion here, is because they did not skimp on the shank. Another really impressive detail on the sole is the aqua blue stitching on the welt that shows through from the bottom, paying homage to the Save the Ocean line, blue representing the ocean. I love it. No detail was too small to be overlooked in this collection, and Andres is such a detail-oriented guy, and I really just love every last little detail that he incorporated into these boots. It's got cork filling, it's got a leather heel counter. So it says here, the Mohawk is a flesh-out suede, tanned in order to highlight the natural vein marks on the reverse side of the skin. Smooth, waxy Mohawk is a comfortable and chunky casual leather with a wax impregnation to further enhance the natural textures of the leather. And then one thing I really like about these, this is the first time I've ever seen Bordon do a logger / woodsman heel, and they did a phenomenal job on that. One thing that I didn't know is with that woodsman heel, it's got that nice little curvaceousness about it, is part of what gives a heel its name isn't just the shape of the back of it, it's also the curvature of the interior side. So this right here, so this could be straight, this could be curved, this little area. And so I had no idea this area as well has an effect on the naming of the heel. Pretty cool. So this is a heel with a concave line tapering inward from the base of the boot towards the ground. Traditionally, the logger heel, also known as a woodsman heel, will sit at a height of roughly 1.5 to 2 inches. Shorter logger heels, also known as low woodsman heels, are usually less than 1.5 inches tall. The typical logger heel's taller height provides the wearer, which is normally lumberjacks, a great deal of traction, allowing them to traverse steep, uneven terrain as well as to climb up trees, which also became very handy for folks like linemen and arborists. So Andres also included a note with the boots. He says, Dale, thanks for trusting us since day one. We are really happy you are part of this new and first limited edition. As you might know, one of Bordon's values is to keep the tradition with purpose, but more importantly, to contribute somehow to our planet. That is why we have been working on this collection for a very long time. And you might think that we are exaggerating, but believe us, now that we have this collection in front of us, you can't imagine how happy and delighted we are about it. The first limited edition will have many components that will get you to want to be part of it immediately. We'd first like to explain the surprises we will have for this collection called Save the Ocean. The upper is a special leather. We thought that it should be different and premium, so we decided to use Charles F. Stead, specifically the waxy Mohawk in stone smooth color. It is amazing. The texture is indescribable. The Mohawk is a flesh out suede, tanned to highlight the natural vein marks on the reverse side of the skin. Smooth waxy Mohawk is a comfortable and chunky casual leather with a wax impregnation to further enhance the natural textures of the leather. The lining was specifically made for us, and it was literally designed by us in honor in the theme of the collection. You will surely not see anything similar in any other place. We are really proud of being able to have it. We always have the option to choose the type of sole, but on the limited edition we are having just one type, which is the 430 mini lug from our partner Viberg. A sole which will give you a casual yet rugged style with the ability to resist hard wear and suitable to use in most of the environments you can imagine, except of course fire. For us, the more important surprise of the collection is the contribution we want to do to the planet. In this case, we want to be able to reduce the plastic waste in the ocean, and more importantly is to make us think about the use and damage of plastic bags. This is why the collection will allow for you to connect with the ocean directly. We will collect 4 kilograms of plastic from the beach and ocean for each pair purchased. This means that 320 kilograms less of plastic waste will enter the ocean, protecting the wildlife and the seas. This is our first limited edition, but it won't be the last. And the special thing is that it would be limited to only 80 pairs in the 3 models that we have: the Isidros, the Chelsea, the Wanes service boot, and the Tukano version 2 military boot. So don't hesitate to buy one for you, as there will not be more pairs of this special collection in the future. Last but not least, the price will be slightly higher than usual due to the premium materials we are using, and it would be exclusively one time. It would be worth it for sure. These are just some of the surprises we have, and as we want our customers to continue getting surprised once they receive the product, we will keep some of them for us and all the people that will be joining this amazing collection. Thanks for your support. We invite you to be part of this collection with purpose. What's kind of a cool synchronicity about this line that Bordon is running is I actually got these right when I got back from our 10-year anniversary trip to Hawaii. And so we did a lot of oceaning, you might say. A lot of beaches, a lot of swimming. These were actually waiting for me literally when I got back to my doorstep getting off the plane from that trip. It's something that's very fresh on my mind, the ocean, and how much I love it. And you know, I can't tell you how what a letdown it is to go to some of these amazing beaches and oceans and to see trash. It is the worst. you feel it. You feel it in your very being, the effects of it. And it is a terrible thing to see trash and plastic in these, in such a pure creation that is the ocean and the beaches. And it's so sad to see animals having to live around that stuff, you know. So I think it's a very noble thing that Andres has chosen to take this project on specifically, because even where I live in Baltimore, you know, I walk around in some of the canals and some of the waterways, you just see they're just loaded with trash. It is disgusting. Yeah, I really like to see, you know, all of us, we could all do it, me included. I could go out and pick up trash and remove it from these pristine areas, and I probably should. So I really have to commend Andres for his efforts of going out and removing waste from our beautiful natural landscapes and oceans, because it is one of our most precious resources. And you know, I'm not very much on the whole climate alarmist train. I personally think that a lot of the climate hysteria is exaggerated and is overblown. When I do go out and I see nature polluted with garbage, I know that it's not supposed to be there. That much I do know. Massive, massive kudos to Andres for taking on that project of saving the ocean. I'd like to compare these Wanes boots to none other than one of my favorite pairs of boots, the Truman boots in Stone Rambler on the 79 last. First and foremost, what you're gonna notice is, yeah, these leathers look kinda the same. The smooth stone Mohawk is a little bit more on the brown side, whereas the Stone Rambler has a little bit more gray notes, but they're both incredibly earthy. It doesn't get any more earthy than either of these colorways. So this is a Rambler, this is a Mohawk. You might be asking yourself, what's the difference? Well, I reached out to Stead a while back when I was writing an article for Nick at Stridewise. I have several boots in both Rambler and Mohawk. It's like, what's the difference? The Charles F. Stead representative said they are similar articles, but the Mohawk is available as a waterproof tannage and also has a different wax compared to the Rambler. The other difference is that the Rambler has an antique finish under the wax, which helps to regularize the rough out effect. So hopefully it's more clear now. I know for me, I'm more confused than ever. So essentially what they're saying is there's different waxes used. And okay, so I don't know what different waxes are used. The hand feel is mostly the same. The one thing I can say is the waxes in the Mohawk makes it feel a little bit smoother to the touch compared to the Rambler. The Rambler feels maybe a little bit more like the pores are more opened up, maybe a little bit more grippy, maybe a little bit more rubbery, but at the same time, these have been worn and these haven't really been worn yet. And so that could just be an effect of that. I think overall, it's safe to sort of think of these leathers as the same thing. I don't think there really is a substantial difference. For simplicity's sake, I consider them the same thing. You can see on this pair of Trumans in Gobi Mohawk, yeah, in this example, it's almost like it's less suede-y, if you want to think of it like that. It's fuzzy, but it's more smooth than fuzzy to the feel. Whereas on the Rambler, it's a little bit more fuzzy to the feel. But again, these might not be good examples because from pair to pair, it's going to vary so much. So you're going to have much more fuzzy Mohawks. This isn't a very fuzzy Mohawk. These Bordones are much more fuzzy than these Gobi Mohawks. However, these smooth stones are less fuzzy than the Truman Ramblers. But then again, depending on the area, that's not true. So there's going to be tons of overlap, tons of contrast. For example, this area on the Trumans is incredibly fuzzy. In fact, this is the most fuzzy panel of all these boots here on the Rambler. But the reverse side, pretty smooth, pretty plated down. I say all that to say that this is not an exact science. The variation, the inconsistencies vary wildly from pair to pair. One thing I will say though, that's really cool about the Bordones is the almost scaly nature of the tongue here. I assume that this portion of the tongue was probably cut from possibly near the armpit, maybe the belly of the side, just because the character on this is unlike the character on the Vamp. And so that much is wildly different. Another thing I really, really love about this pair that surprised me was to see Bordon using rawhide laces. Basically the same exact rawhide laces that are in the Trumans. In fact, I can't tell the difference. I'm half wondering if Andres sourced them from the same place that Truman got their laces, because the rawhides look so damn cool, especially against the smooth stone Mohawk. Let's get a quick size comparison here. So we're gonna do left boot, left boot. So these are the Bordon Wanes, size 42, against the Truman 79 last, size 8.5. Length looks kind of the same. I think the Bordon might be a little longer, but you can see the Trumans in the Vamp there on the toe, a little bit more volume there, whereas on the Wanes boots, a little bit less volume, but it's almost got like a spring to the toe, semi-sprung, I would say. Very nice feature there. Yeah, I mean, they look to be about the same length here. Yeah, Bordon probably a half size longer, but it's hard to see it. Let's do right boot, right boot. So again, Bordon size 42, Truman size 8.5. And yeah, the Truman 79 is going to have more volume than this Wanes boot, which is again why I recommend going true to size. On the right boots, the length looks identical. All right, so let's compare actually the left Truman to the right Bordon. Yeah, in this case, they look pretty much the same. Same length. Let's do the same with this. Left boot, Bordon, right boot, Truman. Yeah, they're super duper close. Bordon looks like it has a little bit more arch support compared to the Trumans on the 79 last. Once again, true to size is what I recommend. The pigmentation is mostly the same. Like I say though, a little bit more gray / clay of an appearance on the Trumans, whereas the Bordons, a little bit more of a uniform chocolatey type look, though there is overlap. One of the really cool things about this Wanes boot is looking at the heel counters. They have a solid back heel block. There might be some sort of stiffener in there holding its structure, but I really like the design of it. I think it's new. I think this is a new back heel block. It is large and it is elegant and it is robust. I love it. It's just sort of comes in and takes the whole back of the heel. Contrast that to the Trumans. The back heel stay is just, you know, it's a standard design. You know, it's got a separate strip, it's got a separate piece for the back heel stay. It's not as aggressive, it's not as prominent as this one. This one just really comes in and just sweeps and just grabs the whole back of the heel. Really, really love that design feature. That is incredible. Yeah, just the overall silhouette of this is really nice. Like I said, I think Andres really nailed this design with this slightly sprung toe, very attractive, beautiful rounded out toe area, little almondy, but more round than almondy, I'd say. 2 speed hooks, and wearing them, they're incredibly comfortable. Talking about the back heel stay on the Wanes boot, it is different compared to the back heel stay on the Tukano. The Tukano has a similar back stay to the Trumans here. Not the same, but similar. Yeah, that Wanes back heel stay, they really nailed that. That's a beautiful, amazing back heel stay. Probably best back heel stay I've ever seen. It's similar to how like Viberg does it too. It's all one piece. The back heel stay, the back heel strip, but I think Bordon just does it a little better than Viberg there. I mean, it's hard to say one's better than the other. It's all down to preference, right? But let's get another size comparison while we're at it. Viberg 2030, Bordon 42. Looks like the Vibergs might be a little longer than the Bordons. The Vibergs are definitely a half size larger in an 8.5 compared to the Trumans in an 8.5. So This is right where I want to be in terms of sizing. These launched on July 25th. All right, and so talking to Andres, they plan to close down the orders within a week or so. So I'm filming this on August 3rd. I'm not sure exactly of the time frame, but I do think that the orders won't be open for much longer. It's limited to 80 pairs only, so I highly recommend Rambler leather, and I highly recommend Bordon. Great people doing great things. I love to see it. Super huge thanks to Andres, who I also had boot talks with in the past. He's a super great guy. I hope to visit him one day down in Colombia. Maybe that'll be my next trip. In the meantime, I will leave links to all 3 models of these incredible stone waxy Mohawk boots in the description below. Go check them out if you're interested. Super huge thanks to Andres for just being a great bootmaker and just overall being just a great dude too. Saving the ocean, I can't think of a better cause than that. It is near and dear to my heart. It really refreshes us all. It's there, it's a blessing for all of us to partake in and to enjoy. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Leave me your thoughts on these incredible Save the Ocean edition Bordon boots in the comments below. Anyways, thanks a lot for watching. I will see y'all in my next video.